The number of reported bullying incidents is down in Indiana schools. That's according to the latest data. But one state lawmaker says those numbers can be deceiving and more needs to be done to protect students. WRTV Investigates Kara Kenny has been tracking bullying in the Indiana schools for years and joins us now with this latest effort at the State House.
Representative Greg Porter filed House Bill 1185. It would require charter and private schools to follow the same anti-bullying requirements as public schools.
My new school, it seems that everybody loves me now.
Davy Combs is a freshman at a Central Indiana public school, but when he attended private school, Davy says he was bullied repeatedly.
They'd say mean things like call me baby. It didn't make me feel good.
By law, private schools do not have to report bullying numbers to the State Department of Education. Representative Greg Porter says that needs to change. He filed House Bill 1185, which would require charter schools and private schools to adopt anti-bullying policies if they accept funding or financial assistance from the state.
We cannot continue to fund education and then everyone gets check a box saying that they're exempt. Public schools are not exempt, so why should charter schools, virtual schools, and schools like that be exempt?
Porter's bill comes as statewide numbers show the number of bullying incidents reported by schools is dropping. 4,400 incidents reported in the 2019-2020 school year compared to 5,200 the year before and 5,600 in 2017-2018. Last school year's numbers include March through June 2020, when many school buildings were closed due to COVID-19.
And the flip side is that they're not being bullied as much because they don't have as much contact with the bullies.
Mindy Goodpaster is with the Indiana Coalition for Human Services and has lobbied for anti-bullying legislation. She anticipates bullying numbers will drop again for this current school year.
We are going to see lower numbers of reports. We may see an increase in cyberbullying because now students are using the virtual platforms, and that's a tricky thing. That's always been a tricky thing for schools on how to deal with virtual bullying that is related to their students who go to their school, but does not happen on school grounds.
Schools are supposed to report physical, verbal, social, and electronic bullying. In its annual report, the Department of Education says due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent closure of school buildings in March 2020, comparing data to any previous school year will not be an effective measure of trends.
Even through the pandemic, our schedule stays the same. Districts are still responsible to submit data.
IDOE spokesperson Adam Baker says schools will submit their data from this school year at the end of June, and the state will publish the new bullying numbers in August.
If a parent looks at the report, they feel it's inaccurate, they feel there's an issue in their school, they should absolutely reach out to their district first. If they feel that's not being resolved, then they should reach out to us as well.
Porter's legislation would also require schools that accept choice scholarships to adopt discipline rules that prohibit bullying.
Let's just get it done.
Prompted by a WRTV investigation, in 2018, Porter had legislation signed into law for the state to get better information about bullying in schools. Davy Combs hopes this latest bill helps protect more students, including those in non-public schools.
I think that's great. I think it'll be good for all the kids. Like they'll be treated better.
Porter has filed this legislation several years in a row, but it has failed to pass. House Bill 1185 has been assigned to the Education Committee, and Porter is hoping it gets a hearing very soon. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
And we do want to point out, WRTV Investigates reached out to groups representing charter schools and private schools. The Institute for Quality Education, which represents charter schools, told us no comment on Porter's bill. We have not heard back yet from the Indiana Non-Public Education Association. If you feel the bullying numbers at your child's school are not adding up, you can contact the Indiana Department of Education at 317-232-0524. That's the number for the Chief Academic Officer, Robin LeClaire.